Hello, hi everybody. How are you tonight? Yes, I'm here. I lost my mouse for a minute. You know, this universal control with Mac now, every once in a while when you have different uh, screens, the mouse will go from one screen to the next without having thing, and I forgot where it was. I couldn't find it. Oh well, I found it. Welcome to Story and Art. How is everybody tonight? It is my day that I got my vaccines, so I'm doing fine. Yeah, I am, yeah, and all that kind of stuff. Haven't had any of the side effects. It was just riding in the car. All that happened to go to Renton, which is an hour away, and all that stuff. Tamra's here. Hi, Tamra and Linda. Yeah, oops, sorry. I should be careful about that. Let me just mute you guys mute myself for a sec while I do this little clearing of my throat so you don't have to listen to me do that. There's the crabby. Oh, and there. I've been looking for this all day and it was sitting right on my desk right in front of me. Oh. If it'd been a snake, it'd have bit me. Linda's here, Tamara, yeah, and Gail. Hello, how is everybody? It rained this afternoon. Current temp is 66. Am I deleting tired? Feeling not deleting? No, not really. Just other than the fact that I had to get up at dark 30 I made an 8:45 appointment, which meant that we had to leave here by about 7, little after 7, because it was in rush hour, it was going to take an hour, at least an hour and 20 minutes, and I had to get there early. And the only other option for an early appointment that they had in time was this afternoon, would have been at 4:15. Well, that's worse. That's rush hour coming home, and that's really bad. So it just meant getting up really early, and yeah, I'm not the best at morning. Yeah, sometimes they can, but these were, yeah, I won't feel it'll be 5 to 7 days before I feel any really effects, if they're going to have any effects on the one that I had today. And so that's hey, there is Larry. Nice to have you here. So I'm going to start today off with some beautiful art from people. Yeah. We've got, I believe these are from Linda. Yes, Linda sent these. I think it was Linda. Hold it. Let me check. Did I put them on the wrong person? Oh, let me check my email real quick. Linda. Oh, and Larry just sent his donkey art too. Oh, goody. I'll get that in too. Linda. Oh, yeah, it was Linda that sent the other ones. Cool. Okay, so then, hang on. You guys look at Linda's while I go into preview mode and go down here and get Larry's other one for this one. Moving things on the fly here, because Larry just sent another piece that I want to put in. Oops, not there. I'm going to go to this one. So you guys are still seeing, and then there. This one, and I'll do that. There we go. There we go. Got it. Got it. Okay, now I'm back to it. So that was Linda's, one of the first ones that she did. The lion and then the rose. Are these paintings, Linda? You just, your note was so funny in your email. That was a lot of fun to see. The lion and then the rose. And then the next one are these. Oh, look at the chickens. How fun is that? And then the dog, the print came in a little dark, so that, and then another one with the heart. You have to tell us a little bit about these. The line is pen and ink. Oh, cool. All right. Roses are colored pencils. And then Larry did this elephant piece. Oh my gosh. Oh, am I still? Oh, I'm back to live mode. Hang on, I gotta go back. I got to the wrong place. I forgot to go back. There, I'm back in live mode. Okay. So here is Linda's other pieces with the chickens, and I think that's a dog. The print was a little dark. You drew when it was 16-inch pencil. And then the heart that is chained. Someone's chained to the heart. Tethered. Very cool. Amazing drawings. And there we go. Here is Larry's elephants. Look at this. Look at those elephants, that the mother, and then is that a baby underneath? That is just wow. I love that. So did you sketch those last night, Larry? They're very cool. I love that. And the way you got the eyes. Because the elephant's eyes are so expressive. They're just, they're just, the photographs that I've seen that Art's done and that are in that book, Wild Elephants, are just beyond amazing when you see the eyes up close. And then he did a wonky donkey for us. I love it. Got the whole wonky donkey going. Yay. I like the horseshoe and the whole bit. That's wonderful. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Love that. I love that. The wonky donkey is grinning and laughing. I think it must, he's telling a joke. One of your jokes. Yee-haw. Or maybe ew. Doing a Nathan ew. It's great. I love that. I love that. Thanks you guys for sending those in. I appreciate that. So since he did a donkey, it's very appropriate that the very first book that I'm going to do of Jeanette Winter's, of the two tonight, I said it was Burros, Basra, and books. Both books are about both stories are about books. Little different ways, two different areas of the world, and different things of how the books were brought together and what they did. Very, very amazing to see these. This first book that I'm going to read is called Bibioburro, and it's a true story from Colombia. So both of these books tonight are true stories, and I think you're going to like that. Again, she's this one, if you look at the artwork in it on the front cover, it's almost got a collage feel to it, like she worked with, almost like she worked with felt and perhaps stitching and whatnot. The way it looks, almost in parts of it almost look like it's been needle pointed in some, or stitched on it. In some of the work that I've seen from people in this region has that aspect to it. So I love it that she really tried to stay authentic to the region for her artwork to go with a story from Colombia. Bibioburro. And it might remind you of another book that we read, if you remember, the one about, I can't remember the name. Maybe Gail will remember, or Tamara, about the women who rode horseback in the 30s. And Larry, they took books, in the Appalachian Mountains. Anyway, here we go with Bibioburro, a true story from Colombia. Deep in the jungles of Colombia, there lives a man who loves books. His name is Luis. As soon as he reads one book, he brings home another. Soon the house is filled with books. His wife, Diana, grumbles. What are we going to do? Eat books with our rice? Luis thinks long and hard. At last, an idea pops into his head. I can bring my books into the faraway hills to share with those who have none. One burro could carry books, and another burro could carry me and more books. Luis buys 2 sturdy little burros. He names them Alpha and Beto. He builds crates to hang on their backs and paints signs. Bibioburro, the burro library. Then Diana fills the crates with books. Every week, Alpha and Beto set off across the countryside to faraway villages in the lonely hills. This week, they travel to El Tormento. When the sun burns high in the sky, Luis and the burros stop at a stream to drink the cool water. After they have their fill, Beto balks. Luis pulls and pulls on Beto's reins, but Beto won't budge. The children are waiting for us. At last, the burro gives in and steps across the stream. Deep in the hills, the path is lonelier than ever. Bird songs are the only sounds they hear. Then, from deep in the shadows, a bandit leaps out. Please let us pass, Luis says. The children are waiting. Give me your silver. The bandit scowls at the books, but he takes one and growls. Next time I want silver. The Bibioburro continues on its way, over the hills until at last, Luis sees the houses below. The children of El Tormento run to meet him. Luis insists on reading a story before they choose books to borrow. Today I have a surprise for you, he says, and he reaches behind the books and pulls out a bundle of masked little piglets. Put on a mask and I'll read you a tale about pigs. Once upon a time, you can see the kids, and he's reading The 3 Little Pigs. I love how she did the pictures, like their imagination from the kids. Kids all dressed as piglets. When the story ends, it's time for everyone to choose a book. The children hold their books close as they say goodbye and walk home. Luis and Alpha and Beto head back over and around the hills, across the grasslands and streams, and into the sunset. At home, Luis feeds his hungry burros, and Diana feeds her hungry husband. But then, instead of sleeping, Luis picks up his book and reads deep into the night. And far away in the hills, candles and lanterns burn as the children read borrowed books deep into their night too. And he says, people around here love stories. I'm trying to keep that spirit alive in my own way. Luis Soriana. Bibioburro is based on a true story of Luis Soriana, who lives in La Gloria, a remote town in northern Colombia. An avid reader, Luis understood the transformative power of reading because of his experiences as a school teacher. He wanted to share his collection of books with the children and adults in the isolated villages in the distant hills, where his books were scarce. Most houses had none. Luis and his 2 burros began bringing books to the villages in 2000. He started with a collection of 70 books that has grown to over 4,800 mostly from donations. Now, the Bibioburro travels to the hills every weekend. 300 people, more or less, look forward to borrowing the books Luis brings. A small corner of the world is enriched. I love that. I love that. Oh my goodness. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. That is such a cool book. What did you guys think? Uh-oh, I lost my mouse again. Where did it go? There. Nope. Oh, where did it go? Fiddle-dee-dee. Okay. There it is. Okay. Sunday. Larry's Live is Sunday at 5. Yeah, I thought I would hop into this. You may have to stay after. Oh, is Larry putting you in timeout, Julia? Oh dear. Oh dear. You, Sunday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Love this idea. Yeah, isn't it a cool idea to take these books out like this? If you have Angie's bell rung, they will be... that whole saying of the bell rung, having had too many concussions, that just cracks me up. Luis was a smart man for doing that for the children, you bet. I think it's awesome. There was, and I don't know if you can remember, anybody can remember. I'll try to look it up, the name of the book that I read about the bareback librarians, horseback librarians that were in the Appalachian Mountains, and it was a program that was started by Roosevelt, and oh my gosh, and we read that story. It was very cool. Yeah, I love that one. Anyway, now the other book. This one is a little bit different in its tone, but still in the power of what these people have done. I mean, Luis Soriano is doing an amazing job. It's still going on today to take that to round. This book that I'm going to read, the repercussions from what happens within this book are still in existence to some degree, although a lot of things have changed. But what's happened with the books is still, well, you'll hear all about it in this book called The Librarian of Basra, a true story from Iraq. I think they're all related. Bell rung, batty bats, and the belfry. Just because it costs more than I can afford at the time, are really hard lately. Oh, Tamara, I'm so sorry. Let's see if I've got this so that it's showing up with 2 pages. Nope, I got it on the wrong way. Hang on, let me just fix this. There we go. This is called The Librarian of Basra, a true story from Iraq. And it says in the opening, in the Quran, the first thing God said to Muhammad was, read. Ali Muhammad Baker, from the New York Times, July 23rd, 2003. Let's see, I want to see if I can get 2 pages on it once. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't do that. Nope, it does it like that. Okay. Hey, it's misbehaving. Ali Muhammad Baker is the librarian of Basra, a port city in the sand-swept country of Iraq. Her library is a meeting place for all who love books. They discuss matters of the world and matters of the spirit. Until now. Now they talk only of war. Will planes with bombs fill the sky? Will bombs fall here? Will soldiers with guns fill the streets? Who among us will die? Will our families survive? What can we do? Ali worries that the fires of war will destroy the books which are more precious to her than mountains of gold. The books are in every language. New books, ancient books, even a biography of Muhammad that is 700 years old. She asks the governor for permission to move them to a safe place. He refuses. So Aliyah takes matters into her own hands. Secretly, she brings books home every night, filling her car late after work. The whispers of war grow louder. Government offices are moved into the library. Soldiers with guns await on the roof. Ali waits and fears the worst. Then rumors become a reality. War reaches Basra. The city is lit with a firestorm of bombs and gunfire. Aliyah watches as library workers, government workers, and soldiers abandon the library. Only Aliyah is left to protect the books. She calls over the library wall to her friend Anis Muhammad, who owns a restaurant on the other side. "Can you help me save the books?" "I can use these curtains to wrap them. Here are crates from my shop. Can you use these sacks? The books must be saved." All through the night, Aliyah, Anis, his brothers and shopkeepers and neighbors take the books from the library shelves, pass them over the 7-foot wall, and hide them in Anis's restaurant. The books stay hidden as the war rages on. Then, 9 days later, a fire burns the library to the ground. The next day, soldiers come to Anis's restaurant. "Why do you have a gun?" they ask. "To protect my business," Anis replies. And the soldiers leave without searching inside. They do not know that the whole of the library is in my restaurant, thinks Anis. At last, the beast of war moves on. Aliyah knows that if the books are to be safe, they must be moved again. While the city is quiet, so she hires a truck to bring all 30,000 books to her house and to the houses of friends. In Aliyah's house, books are everywhere, filling floors and cupboards and windows, leaving barely enough room for anything else. Aliyah waits. She waits for war to end. She waits and dreams of peace. She waits and dreams of a new library. But until then, the books are safe, safe with the Librarian of Basra. This says a note from the author. Oh, you can't quite see the top of that. The invasion of Iraq reached Basra on April 6th, 2003. With the help of friends and neighbors, Aliyah Muhammad Baker, chief librarian of Basra's Central Library, managed to rescue 70% of the library's collection before the library burned 9 days later. These events were first revealed to the world by New York Times reporter Shalia K. Dewan, who heard about Aliyah and the library during a visit to Anis Muhammad's restaurant, the Hamdan, which is near the library and is known as one of the best in Basra. Shalia's translator said Anis had an incredible story to tell about the war. So Shalia made an appointment to talk with him. Aliyah joined the discussion, and together they went on to share this amazing story. Soon after the library was destroyed, Aliyah suffered a stroke and had heart surgery. But she is healing, and despite all, she is determined to see that the library is rebuilt. And it says, many thanks to Shalia Kate, who uncovered the story of Aliyah Muhammad Baker and reported it to the New York Times on July 27, 2003. This book was copyrighted in 2005, and I do not know if Aliyah is still alive. Let's check if I can find that out. Where am I going to go back? Israeli librarian. She died on August 13th of 2021. Yes, she was born in 1952. She died from coronavirus. Oh my goodness. You know, after doing all of that, and to be, oh my gosh, how crazy is that? How crazy is that? So that was my couple of books for tonight by Jeanette Winter. I encourage you, if you find anything else, I mean, she has so many other books. I will probably save a couple of the other ones to read as recorded ones for when I'm in Botswana, so you guys have stories when I'm gone, because she has a book about Serena and Venus Williams. She has a book about Nasreen's secret school, about a little girl who, when the Taliban took over, she did a book about one called Kali's Song, which was it's kind of based on very early man drawings, and it's a story that she made up. She also has a book called Our House is on Fire, which is the story of Greta Thunberg, the young girl who is doing started the climate change movement that Greta Thunberg's Call to Save the Planet. She did a book on her. And then Follow the Drinking Gourd is one that she did that is based on the Underground Railroad and the true story of a man who helped a lot of people escape slavery and get to the Underground Railroad. And there was a song called Follow the Drinking Gourd. And that's actually, I saw it, a video of, I think it was Jefferson Starship singing that song, and how he taught the song to, would go work, be a repairman in different plantations. He was a white man, and he would go to the plantations and do repair work as a handyman for the plantation owners. But while he was in the evening after there, he would teach this song to the slaves, and it was the words of the songs are actually a pathway, the directions to get to the Underground Railroad, which is pretty fascinating in and of itself. So she has so many more that we could go through, but I think I will either read another couple tomorrow, or I'll take a shift and do something completely different. Who knows what? I'm glad you guys like that. YouTube keeps it all at your beck and call. Cost of living here is scary. Oh, yeah. Fearless Women. looking at them now. That line is amazing. You can draw. Oh, yeah. You know, it is, it's amazing how the cost of internet is so varied and different in so many different places. It just is that the, oh, Julia, you can draw. Give it a try. Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek. Is that it? Yeah, that, it might have been the Bookwoman. Yeah, there was a couple of them, but that's the story about that. Good job, Larry. I love this story too. Very sweet but sad story. Yeah, it is. It is. But you know, I can understand her need to preserve the books that she had. I mean, to have had a 700-year-old book on Muhammad. I mean, some of the it just amazes me that, like, in the story Nasreen's Secret School, which is about what happened to the girls after the Taliban took over in Afghanistan, and how the lives of women was completely overturned when that happened. And they comment in it that to imagine that in a land that was the birthplace of Rumi, and such a poet, that all that art and literature and everything was completely banned. So anyway, I love the way that she goes into so many different areas, and she brings these books, and it's just that little bit that you find that you connect with, and then how the artwork honors the culture of whatever she did, wherever the story is about. I just think it's fabulous. So anyway, that's just last year that she died. Yeah, exactly. Harriet Tubman and others. Yeah, the story on Follow the Drinking Gourd. Where was that one? I think. If you've got time, if not, whoa, is this gonna go? We can go back. There we go. This is kind of, yeah. Hang on. It's gonna go. Oh, I gotta get through the pages, don't I? Oh, I'm all the way at the end. Hang on. And did it freeze? Don't freeze. There we go. Here we go. So if you're up for it, I've got one more. I'll do Follow the Drinking Gourd. This is a book that is one of Jeanette Winter's one of her very first book, and it is one that I had in the library. It has always been used. It was an award winner for some different things, but it's a pretty amazing book. She says, in the early days of slavery, the United States, many slaves tried to escape the cruel bondage by fleeing north, and usually to Canada. By the 1840s, a loosely organized group of free blacks, slaves, and white sympathizers formed a secret network of people and places that hid escaped slaves on their dangerous journey to freedom, a network that became known as the Underground Railroad. Traveling along darkened roads at night, hiding out by day, moving slowly to work their way. The famous conductor of the Underground Railroad was Harriet Tubman, a runaway slave herself. But it says, among other conductors was a one-legged sailor named Pegleg Joe. He hired himself out to plantation owners as a handyman, and then he made friends with the slaves and taught them what seemed like a harmless folk song. Follow the Drinking Gourd, but hidden in the lyrics of the song were directions for following the Underground Railroad. The drinking gourd is the Big Dipper, which points to the North Star. When the sun comes back and the first quail calls meant spring, when travel might be least hazardous. And the river that ends between two hills was the Tombigbee River, and the second was the Tennessee River, and the Great Big River was the Ohio. So we'll see. If you have to go, I understand, but I want to unlock this. I'm going to move this down a little bit. There we go. Get the whole story in for you. Lock it there. Long ago, before the Civil War, there was an old sailor called Pegleg Joe, who did what he could to help free the slaves. Joe had a plan. He used hammer and nail and saw and worked for the master, the man, who owned slaves on the cotton plantation. Joe had a plan. At night, when work was done, he'd teach the slaves a song that secretly told the way to freedom. Just follow the drinking gourd, it said. When the song was learned and sung all day, Pegleg Joe would slip away to work for another master and teach the song again. One day, a slave called Molly saw her man James sold to another master. James would be taken away, their family torn apart. Just one more night together. A quail called in the trees that night. Molly and James remembered Joe's song. They sang it low. When the sun comes back and the first quail calls, follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is a-waitin' for to carry you to freedom if you follow the drinking gourd. They looked to the sky and saw the stars, taking their little son Isaiah, old Hattie, and her grandson George. Molly and James set out for freedom that very night, following the stars of the drinking gourd. They ran all night through the fields till they crossed the stream to the woods. When daylight came, they hid in the trees, watching, listening for the master's hounds set loose to find them. But the dogs lost the runaway scent at the stream, and Molly and James and Isaiah and old Hattie and young George were not found. They hid all day in the woods. At night they walked again, singing Joe's song and looking for the signs that marked the trail. The riverbank makes a very good road. The dead trees will show you the way. Left foot, peg foot, traveling on. Follow the drinking gourd. Walking by night, sleeping by day, for weeks they traveled on. Sometimes berries to pick and corn to snatch, sometimes fish to catch. Sometimes empty bellies to sleep on. Sometimes no stars to guide the way. They never knew what lay ahead. There was a danger from men who would send them back, and a danger from hungry beasts, but sometimes a kind deed was done. One day, as they hid in the thicket, a boy from a farm found them. In a bag of feed for hogs in the wood, he brought bacon and cornbread to share. Singing low, they traveled on. The river ends between two hills. Follow the drinking gourd. There's another river on the other side. Follow the drinking gourd. On and on they followed the trail to the river's end. From the top of the hill they saw the new path, another river beneath the stars to lead them to freedom land. The drinking gourd led them on. The song was almost done. When the great big river meets the little river, follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is awaiting to carry you to freedom if you follow the drinking gourd. Then they climbed the last hill. Down below was Pegleg Joe, waiting at the wide Ohio River to carry them across. Their spirits rose when they saw the old man, and Molly, James, and Isaiah, old Hattie, and George ran to the shore. Under a starry sky, Joe rowed them across the wide Ohio River. He told them of hiding places where they would be safe. A path of houses stretched like a train on a secret track leading north to Canada. He called it the Underground Railroad. It carried riders to freedom. The first safe house stood on the hill. The lamp was lit, which meant it was safe to come. Ragged and weary, they waited until Joe signaled low, with a hoot like an owl. When the door opened wide to welcome the freedom travelers, they were rushed through the house to the barn, for the farmers knew there were slave catchers near. A trapdoor in the floor took them under the barn to hide till it was safe to move on. Then Pegleg Joe went back to the river to meet others who followed the drinking gourd. With danger still near, too close for ease, the farmers sent the 5 travelers on. He drew a map that showed the way north on a midnight road to the next safe house just over 2 hills. This time James called the signal, a hoot like an owl, that opened the door to a Quaker farm. The travelers were led to a secret room hidden behind shelves. They rested here for many days and healed their wounds. Soft beds, full meals, new clothes, hot baths washed away some fear and pain. Isaiah smiled. When they were strong, they traveled again, from house to house on the underground trail, still following the drinking gourd north. Sometimes they traveled on foot, sometimes by cart. The wagon they rode near their journey's end carried fruit to market, and the runaways to freedom. At last they came to the shores of Lake Erie. Molly and James and Isaiah, old Hattie and young George, climbed aboard the steamship that would carry them across to Canada to freedom. 5 more souls are safe, old Hattie cried. The sun shone bright when they stepped on land. They had followed the drinking gourd. And there is the music to the song. Larry, you can always screenshot that and play it for us sometime. Yeah. But yeah, I did. I looked up on YouTube, and I think there was like 14 years ago, Jefferson Starship, a video of Jefferson Starship, I think it was, singing. So very cool. I love the way that she has put those together and brought those books to life and brought those stories of history to life for kids. It's just, and for us too. It's awesome. So, didn't expect to do 3. Thank you if you stuck by with me here, but I kind of felt like I wanted to do another one of hers. Anyway, you guys, I hope everybody's, let's check. You saw Jefferson Starship in concert. Oh my gosh. And then cheaper than when I was in Cali. Never paid that much. Oh, if you can paint, you can draw. Lives of women are completely getting overturned here in our own country. Exactly. Exactly, Larry. You are so right. You live 150 kilometers from the main city. Oh. Yes. Follow the medium that speaks to you. So I just got I picked up some watercolors. I haven't opened them yet. And I picked up some new Caran d'Ache water-soluble ones, but mainly right over there, sitting right over there. My camera gear is all laid out. I'm sorting it all as to what's where and what I'm packing to take. I'm already sorting and minimizing in what I want to take, and you hate to get stuck out without the right lens, but I think I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, because I just can't take them all. they won't, first off, they won't all fit in my camera bag. Second off, they would be way too heavy. Even when I'm flying and I have carry-on, there is still a limit of my weight on my carry-on. So I have to be careful of that. And yeah, so I'm sorting through that. So that's my first choice of art medium is my camera. But this other stuff is a lot of fun. Crazy. Oh my goodness. All the things. That's yikes. Came with my service, no cost. It's amazing the cost of the thing, and so I thank you guys for being here. So I'm not going to keep everybody on and with this. So I'm glad you guys have liked the work of Jeanette Winter. I have more of her books, but I think I'll sprinkle in a couple of goofy books before I do that. Maybe also save some for when I'm gone. I think I'll save the ones on Serena and Greta Thunberg. And there's one, the two, then she did another one with Jonah Winter that's on the Exxon Valdez. They're called Oil. That's amazing also. So just to have the fact that, you know, the wide variety of purposes that these picture books fill, for everything from teaching kids to read, or hilariously funny, but also to really serious topics in their nonfiction or issues of social change or different things that kids are dealing with. I think it always fascinates me how much can be put into 32 pages of a little book with pictures. Yeah. Brevity of words, huh? Something I haven't really learned very well. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here, you guys. And as you know, until next time, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. It's in this group. Go look in the mirror and say, "Hi there, beauty." And I'll see you next time.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feeling alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just there in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards. I just need you by my side.
Exactly.
We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. You're blowing my mind, looking like a model, better than the usual. Yeah, you don't even try.
Thank you, Gail.
Typical, I put you on a pedestal.
Oh, wow.
There's
I'll
not
have to
just
look her up.
stars
Cindy.
on the boulevard.
Huh.
They're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards.
Don't move.
I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh,
Thank you, Gail.
We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop that gold.
Did you have thunder today? Lightning, Larry? I know we did for a bit.